Welcome, this is Crispy, otherwise known as Bystander X79, and today's video we are going to be discussing what to include in your side deck in case you're not sure. Now what I have done is I have actually simplified this by creating 5 categories to put the different cards into that we can include just in a general side deck if you're not sure how to build your side deck for an upcoming event. Alright? So without further ado, first category is going to be just by looking at the cards, you guessed it, hand traps. Hand traps are very prevalent today. You can't find a deck that does not run them. With that being said, a general rule of thumb is that if you're running hand traps in your main deck and you cannot fit a full set of a particular hand trap, the extra copies should be included in your side deck. You do not want to turn around and risk not having these cards available to you during an event. Alright? Ash Blossom is extremely versatile. It can stop searches, stop the opponent from touching a deck. Joel and Lockbird, if you guys seen my Metalfoes deck, I run 2 copies, so you could be guaranteed that I have a third one in my side. Effect Veiler is becoming prevalent because it stops effects. Ghost Ogre pops stuff. Ghost Reaper turns around and shreds extra decks. So, any deck you're running hand traps in, you can't put a full set, put the extra copies in your side deck. Alright, that will be category number 1. The second category, if you're unsure of stuff to include in your side deck, would be Kaiju or Kaiju-esque monsters, and I'm going to turn around and discuss both here in this situation. Kaiju, basically, you special summon to your opponent's side of the field by tributing off one of their monsters, which is basically one of the best things about this archetype. Some people might disagree, but other people like myself, it does help out a lot. Get rid of problematic monsters. It's a tribute, so the opponent can't really stop it. And then you can turn around and run it over if you're using a weaker one, or if you happen to turn around and use the old school theory of the 4 Kaiju suite, you usually run 1 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, which is basically wipes the board of monsters, gives your opponent a Kaiju, a newer Kaiju, and then typically you're going to give your opponent the weaker one, and then you swing over it with your stronger one. All right, now that's how it used to be. That's the old school way of thought, but there is a new school way of thought. It involves Garment Seal right here, and what I'm going to turn around and do is that typically people are now starting to run Kyoto Waterfront as a way to basically counteract Kaijus by using their effects. Now, Garment Seal has a very interesting effect. You can take two Kaiju counters from anywhere on the field, remove them, and then you can actually negate a card or an effect of a card that's being activated, and then banish it. That's the primary reason why people are starting to run Kyoto Waterfront, because Kyoto Waterfront can actually gather a lot of counters really quickly over the course of turns, because every time a card is sent to the graveyard, it gains a Kaiju counter. Now, bad news is that you can only have maximum 5 counters on this, but it's still a good way to actually utilize the Kaiju your opponent's giving you by adding an extra negation onto your field. And Garment Seal also has 3 dots in defense, so it's a pretty beefy wall as well. Now, other Kaiju-esque monsters would be Lava Golem. Now, Lava Golem is an old school type of Kaiju monster. You tribute 2 of your opponent's monsters, so you get rid of two of their problematic monsters off. Only thing about it is that it's got 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense. It can be a bit more problematic for you unless you're packing Messenger of Peace. Now, back in the day when Lava Golem was a bit of a side deck tech, we used to run things like the level limit areas cards to stop it from attacking, so your opponent wouldn't be able to use it against you, and they would suffer the 1,000 points of burn damage during their standby phase due to Lava Golem's effect. However, since the game has evolved to include cards that don't have levels, exceeds have ranks, like monsters have ratings. We need to use Messenger of Peace more often now because this blocks monsters with 1500 attack or higher. Alright, so if you're planning on including this in your side deck, 2 copies of Lava Golem, 3 copies of Messenger of Peace, and you're pretty much safe. Set. I want to say safe. Another card that people might run is Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode. Typically, what this does is that this takes 3 monsters off of your opponent's field and summons this to the field. The only thing about it is that you can't target it for attacks, you can't turn around and target it for effects. Good news is that it can't attack because it has no attack. It has no attack and defense in this mode. Other good thing is that during the end of your opponent's next turn, it comes back to the owner on your side of the field, which is actually pretty good because this is actually a way to get great boss monsters off the field, stick them with something they can't use, and then if they have to turn around pass, you get this card back. Cool thing about it is that if you can run at least maybe 2 copies of this guy, you can also turn around and run 1 copy of the actual Winged Dragon of Ra. Because the way Sphere Mode works is that it actually brings Ra out without its summoning conditions, and gives it 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense, which is a pretty damn good boss monster, and you don't have to worry about losing a whole lot of life points. Alright? Just things to turn around and consider here. Alright, so that's the first category. Kaiju and Kaiju-esque monster. I mean, that's the second category. Kaiju and Kaiju-esque monsters. Third category. Board wipes. Alright? I can tell you this right now. If you can't fit them in your main deck, put them in your side deck. Raigeki, Darkhold, Torrential Tribute, even evenly match, all count as board wipes in this situation. They get rid of all your opponent's monsters, and you can just turn around and then swing, hopefully swing through an empty field. Okay? Alright. Then other things that you can turn around and include in your side deck. Back Row Hate. This is category 4. Alright? Back Row Hate includes Twin Twisters, the classic Mystical Space Typhoon, and Cosmic Cyclone. They're all extremely good cards. They get spell and trap cards off the field. Twin Twisters can take down a scale against pendulum players. MST is great for spot removal of spell and traps that might be problematic. Cosmic Cycle banishes stuff. So it's all these cards are extremely good. If you have room in your extra deck and you need some Back Row Hate, this is what you need. Okay, that's category 4. Category 5, the 5th and final category for just general things to include in your extra deck. And as you can see right here with the cards, Floodgates. Alright? These are the typical Floodgate cards you might see. Royal Decree blocks traps. Imperial Order and Anti-Spell Fragrance, they both help against spells. Now, Imperial Order prevents the activation... No, prevents the... What is it? Yeah, it negates the effects of spell cards on the field. It doesn't prevent their activation, so you gotta remember that. On the other hand, you have things like Anti-Spell Fragrance, which forces you and your opponent to set spells before using them, and you have to wait a turn as well. Mistake prevents searching. Skill Drain is blanket effect negation. And Dimensional Barrier. Now, even though it's not a continuous trap like the others, it is considered a floodgate because you could actually once per turn stop your opponent from summoning ritual monsters, fusion monsters, synchro monsters, exceeds monsters, or pendulum monsters, and this is the best thing, negate any effects of those monsters that are on the field. The reason why this card is very good, and you see this card a lot in side decks. Alright? So, those are the 5 categories of things to include in your side decks. Remember, it's hand traps, Kaiju or Kaiju-esque monsters, your board wipes, Back Row Hate, and of course, your Floodgates. Alright? Today's a short video. I hope you guys find it helpful in prepping for your tournaments. Be on the lookout next week. I'm gonna be doing another product opening. Legendary Collection Kaiba. As soon as it comes in, you're gonna see the video. Until next week, peace out, everybody.